Disclaimer. We love Guild Wars 2 and we love structured PvP. We're not saying these things need to change, absolutely. This is just a discussion. Welcome back to controversial PvP topics that are going on right now, part 2. We're just going to pick up where we left off. Stomping mechanics. So the stomping, if you're sure you've seen it, it's the mechanic that defeats an enemy, and right now it's like really tough, and it's sort of being talked about anyways, where like if there's one person going against two people, it's almost impossible for that one person to be an amazing player and kill those two people. I mean, isn't that right? Yeah. And the reason is like, you get them down. Let's say you get one person down. Okay, oh man, you're like going to go to stomp him. But you got that other guy to not only do any of his knockbacks or stuns or anything like that, but he can just bash on you while it's happening. So maybe, you know, you're low and you'll go down, and then you get killed and he just reses right back up. And so it's really hard for 2v1, especially obviously 3v1. Yes. And as a really skilled player, you should be able to take down two people.
If you're competent enough at the game, you should be able to, and it feels like it should be a way weaker mechanic than what it currently is. Right. Like Thieves, for instance, you can jump around, you can turn invisible. I mean, everybody has the chance to like get up and heal, but it just seems all too strong altogether.
All right, so we acknowledge that it is a sort of an issue, not really an issue, but sort of an issue. What are some of the things we can do to fix it? Like I'm gonna propose some stuff that people have already said first. Damage reduction while stomping. What do you think?
Like, so, while somebody's down or while somebody's being stomped?
No, the stomper gets damage reduction, because that way he's allowed to stomp more, because he doesn't have to worry about getting super nuked the whole time.
Okay, I mean, it's acceptable.
Yeah, that's just one solution. So talk about it, please. I really want to see what you guys have to say about this stuff. Second one, of a revive lockout when being stomped. So if you're being stomped, someone couldn't possibly revive you. So it's like a thing to go, if I'm stomping you, that's doing more effort because it's also serving the functionality of that person can't res.
Okay, I mean, that's also a good suggestion, but at the same time, it doesn't stop the fact that people can still interrupt and all that other stuff while you're doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
All of these things, great suggestions, still don't really fix the core problem of being stomped or trying to stomp somebody when there's multiple people around.
Right.
Like, I wish I had a better suggestion to fix it, but truly I don't have one.
All right, number 3. This has been talked about. What about the Fallen State gives you bonus health right now? So what if you take that away? You could stomp. You could kill them manually quicker. So you know.
I like that. I mean I like that Stomp can insta-give a person, but if you can still take them out fairly easily, that seems...
Yeah, so there needs to be a balance there, because it can't be too quick or nobody's going to stomp.
I like that, actually. That's a really good suggestion.
So, I mean, and like I said, I'd like to hear what you guys think about this. Last one, all interrupt skills, or a lot of the interrupt skills are on 2, which is usable immediately. Yeah. So maybe move some of those to 3 so that it's locked out near the beginning, so that no matter what, the fallen person can't always knock back the person stomping. Warrior right now, no matter what, you're going to like expect it. In fact, you might even want to dodge it, like, because you know it's going to happen, right?
Yeah. Same with the Guardian, too. The Guardian has one where he just knocks it back right.
But that's
the
AoE.
first one that pops up. Yeah.
That's not just one person.
But everybody blasts away.
That's definitely like it's a good example. So some things to think about. I'd like to see some changes there, possibly.
Screw it, just lower people's health. That's fine
with me. Exactly. Yeah.
All right, so next one, how people spawn after they resurrect. Right now it's in waves.
Correct.
So meaning that if 3 people die at different times, they're all going to res at the same time.
There's 15-second intervals,
something like that.
Yeah, so every 15 seconds, no matter where you die, you get resurrected on that 15th second.
Yeah, so I mean, one thing... Oh, go ahead.
It gives a chance for the other team to catch up. You kill all the people at the base, they're all gonna. They have to wait for the other team to come out, so you get a chance to capture that point.
On the flip side of that, you can die and you have a 1-second res time if you're on the lucky side of that.
That is true.
I would like 15, let's just use 15 as an example here, but you have 15 seconds from the time you die to when you res, or even kind of better in my mind, if you keep dying repeatedly, make it a longer res time. I mean...
That has always been talked about. Good point.
I know people aren't going to like that idea initially, but if you just keep zerging something, that's not a fair or fun strategy. If there's a penalty to it, people won't try to do it as much.
Well, right. You mentioned this in the last video. You don't like bringing up other games, but think about World of Warcraft.
Oh,
perfect example right there.
True.
A good thing that they did do is, but it was more in PvE. It would happen in PvE, but PvP. But if you died that much, then you're just a bad person.
Yeah.
Because it literally will stop you. You're gonna have to wait this amount of time to come back because you keep zerging and do something stupid.
So, an interesting mechanic for sure. The other option, the good thing about wave spawning is sort of organizes your team. So you all come out, you're forced to come out at the same time, which means...
I don't think the game should force you to work as a team.
That's true.
That should be something that
you could have that
have
option even if it didn't wave spawn.
It'd be so much easier to
so
much easier to fight against other teams who weren't like prepared at all to fight. Like I'm just gonna run out there and do it. It's like great, bring it on. But you know,
I don't see that happening in this game.
I mean, I've seen it happen already. So.
Well, in general, when the game comes out, it is people are gonna have their
people
teams.
are gonna get better. Yeah, but for right now, you don't need to force people to play as a team.
Yeah.
All right, next one, pinging the map. This is just a quick one. It would be nice if there's a chime or if they added a little bit more functionality to that group, the ability to communicate via the map. Because, you know, you're on Vent or Mumble or whatever. You can't describe it, so you just ping it real quick.
Yeah, okay.
So I know that the ping's in there right now, but it'd be nice if it alerted.
No chime.
Yeah. Or maybe if, like, it'd ping and then where you pinged would be, like, announced, like the area or something, so people would just see keep or something like that.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. Or, like,
I just
we
thought
need
about
help
that.
at
That'd be
keep.
kinda cool.
Or something like,
But then again, you could just say keep.
That's true.
Or, but then again, like,
that's
you
assuming
have
you're working,
a certain
if you're on
area.
Skype
you're
or
on
Vent
team.
and you're working together.
Whatever, so
Okay,
would be nice.
Going back to duration stacking, we didn't talk about this like a fully. It was more condition and condition removal, but duration stacking of conditions. And so, like right now, you just stacks, and so there's no actual like, okay, I need to save this or I need to use this at this certain time. All your allies, when you use them, it just becomes one, and like it just becomes like a side effect that's just happening, and you don't even need to think about it. It takes all the thought away. So. I don't know. That's something that definitely... And boons is the same way.
That's what I was going to say. The boons are the exact same way. No matter what, you'll be fighting a warrior, and you're fighting him, and you're like, oh, wow, he's got 12 stacks of might on him. I'm not going to die. And I think that with their duration on that, I think it should be a little bit faster. But if they decided to go into stacking their own build into duration... I think that's okay. If they decide to do that way, but I think they should be weaker in 1.2. So.
Although the disclaimer, might is one of the intensity stacking ones, not duration stacking ones. So that really depends on the original abilities, how long that one says it's the duration. Some say 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Right. So anyways, but it's still like swiftness, same way. I mean, you get like mind you, also another disclaimer, they did already affect that a little bit. It used to be like a minute 30-second cap on like, so I remember as an elementalist I could stack in staff air, have infinite swiftness just for myself, and it would hit max at a minute and a half.
Yeah, I remember one of the guys, one of the guilds we were casting, they had this build where it was just all the way across the map. And
right, and you saw the matches do that. They do max stealth, max swiftness, and it was just ridiculous. Obviously, that is not what they want. So, so now it should be a choice. Stealth, you could like evade the initial 4-1 split collision there on the beach, because if you choose to do stealth, and then now you have a secretive element. So then it's choice-based rather than... So anyways, they already did a little bit of that tweaking, but...
Maybe more.
Still, some people are saying remove the duration stacking completely. So just don't have it. That's what they're saying anyways.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Guardian Knockdown. We all... Come on, you know what we're talking about. Jeebus.
I played Guardian, and I stopped playing... with spirit weapons because of the knockdowns. It just, for me, it kind of got boring. I just wanted to get it. Even myself, I just wanted to attack him with my auto attack, but I couldn't because he kept flying.
Why don't we just give Guardian's Spirit Pineapple, and then that also has a knockback, right?
Well, as long as it's still got knockdown.
The second one's a good idea, so why not a third one? Spirit Pineapple. It's just so you guys, I don't know if I can explain it. Spirit weapons, Guardian utility skill. It's the sword and the hammer both have a knockback. One is on Q, and one is based on the hammer's auto attack. It goes 1, 2, and then 3 knockback, right?
And if you're holding a hammer too, just in your hand, you also have a knockback skill in there. So you're just
for sure.
people
So
all
I mean,
day.
it's like ridiculous. Like you got to do some experience with that, right?
Yeah, it was fun, but like it got to the point where I was like, okay, I'm gonna try out something new because this it wasn't fun for me. It's just I was killing.
What percentage of the time are they not knocked back or stunned?
A low percentage.
Like
Most of the time
20%?
I was standing in the middle of the point and they just kept getting knocked out and I was like, well, I thought I was PvP,
probably so
but
not fun.
I've got my teammates here, which were my spirit weapons.
So anyways, that's going to change, obviously. Lich Form, we're talking about OP abilities right now that are definitely going to change. Lich Form, have we experienced that I think you have to build for it, but it's like 6k, or like I think it's like 3k or something like that.
It's still ridiculous.
Yeah, and it has piercing, so it just goes through enemies and goes 3k.
That's where that swiftness duration comes in. You just run away from that. But
that's
the only way you can win on that. So
that sucks basically.
Yeah, it does.
Ability queuing has a sort of a error right now that they need to be right. I mean, where you'll do an attack that you don't want to do. You
accidentally queued it earlier, or you're just mashing.
Yeah, I mean, if you're like you want to make sure it lands. Yeah, just face
I'm gonna kill you.
So. Yeah, it happens all the time. At least like twice a fight for me, where I shoot an auto attack that I didn't want to shoot.
Yeah.
Or I do an ability later that I didn't want to do at that time, like one of my cooldowns. So that needs to be tweaked for sure because.
And you can see it happening too. You'll be playing and it'll be that Morphe stage, and then you're like, no, you're clicking the other button so it doesn't hit it. But
luckily, escape they implemented a interrupt on the escape,
Yes.
but still, you don't want to be hitting escape way up there. Okay, so now this isn't combat related, but it is like gonna affect like loot and stuff. It's the chests that you get from Glory currently are just broad, and people are talking about that as like, what's the system that we want? It's super random. People are like, what if I want my specific armor piece and it's impossible to get it? Well, you're gonna get an uncommon version for sure. There's no way you're gonna be that unlucky not to get an uncommon version. But people are saying that you want to have specific like light armor chests or like heavy armor chests or weapon chests.
I would say even vouchers that you can turn in for a chest that's a light armor chest, let's say.
Yeah.
Like just whatever it is, because like you said, you get a very broad kind of array of
really
whatever.
Is.
If you could narrow that down just a little bit, it would help a lot of people out who are looking for something.
I think that I like it the way that they had it is because it's a part of the grind. If you didn't get what you wanted...
Now, don't be off-put by... Oops, sorry, our SD card ran out of space. That was... All right, going on. So you were talking about the grind and how
it's enjoyable for some reason.
Explain yourself.
What I meant by grind, and I understand that when somebody hears grind, they're like, grind. What I mean by that is if everybody had the option to just get the armor that they wanted at every chest that they got, that they were rewarded, then everybody would have what they wanted. They would look the way they wanted to right in the beginning of the game. I think most gamers would agree with me. The fun in most games is the build up to finally, building your character, making it look how you want. You see a guy that's more experienced than you. He's got this giant greatsword, and you saw it in beta week, and it was like you'd see people with the coolest armor, and you're like, I want that. So you keep on playing and playing and playing, and I think Arena that did this is because it'll make you play more, and I think it's a good idea. You're gonna get better the more experience you have, and it shows that. You can have the coolest looking armor, but you earned it. You had to go through tons of boxes that had stupid things like rifles, and your class doesn't even have a rifle. What's the point of having it? But it'll even. I like the idea.
All right, so what do you guys think of that? Let's talk about that. And then a second note too. This is one thing to keep in mind is that if you don't know, you can put it in a locker. These items you get from the chest. You can trade them to your other characters. There's also a Mystic Forge that you can throw it in, and it'll be like I'm a Mystic Forge, and then forge something new for you that you can use or sell or something like that. So. They're usable. Anyways, what do you guys think? Next topic, differences in race sizes. So this is actually combat related. Okay, so 3 giant Norns, maxed out size and girth. And then 2 tiny Asura, as skinny as possible, as small as possible. Like it's going to be hard to click. You're going to have to tab target through, and it's going to be a problem. So what do you guys think about that?
You already said
the differences.
You can tab target through.
Although true, it's a tab target. If you're doing next tab target, that's like 5 clicks you might have to do at worst. Yeah, you're like in combat. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, like
it is a little bit harder in Guild Wars too.
Right. Let's talk about combat visibility too. These Norns literally take up your whole screen, depending on how close they are to you. So literally,
it's a good
you don't even see what's going on. Yeah, so every team is going to be 2 Norns, 3 Asura, 3 Norns, 2 Asura.
You can, if somebody marks that target, you hit T, and you can automatically get that target.
Keep that in mind. That's definitely a good tactic for sure.
Okay, it's hard to click on people. Hit tab a couple times, whatever.
Right,
truthfully, I don't care that much because I'm apparently a good gamer, and you guys can't hit a tab.
Do you guys think that they should change the sizes a little bit? To make it a little bit more normalized?
I hate
it's up to you. What do you guys think?
by the way.
Why
play that?
Prepare to be flamed.
Yeah, so all of you guys. I don't care.
Oh my god.
It's just so, you feel so insignificant. You're going against a Norn and you're in a Asura and you're looking up at him. You're like, yeah, I'm going to do my attack, but your sword is gigantic. Exactly. Yeah. What is that?
If anything, your race should take more damage.
Yeah, exactly.
Right well, All right, so... Yeah, anyways, he's voiced Flame Rankshis if you think he should be flamed.
If you guys like the little midget class that, little kids want to play, by all means.
They're cooler gnomes. I've already got this out.
Cooler gnomes. Don't get me wrong. Gnomes.
Or you can just be a Sylvari, which is going to be in the next beta weekend. So.
Yeah,
mid-size.
Good middle.
Try something better.
All right, so Faux Fire. is a new map that's
new map.
coming out.
Excited.
So this has multiple parts that I want to talk about. Foefire, in the end, has a guild lord that offers a lot of points that you get for killing him. It's a great new mechanic, and I say new, which is kind of true because Forest, Conquest map, you have Chieftain and...
Svanir.
What?
Svanir.
Sorry. You have Chieftain and Svanir, and they offer points themselves for killing them every 3 minutes. I think it would be an improvement to the map. Oh, they also offer buffs.
Yeah.
It would be an improvement to the map to cancel out all points you get from killing them and increasing the buffs. That way it is a tactical decision as opposed to something you must do to keep up or get ahead of the enemy team. Right. This will offer multiple, like, just changes in maps, multiple ways to play, and it's more skill-based as opposed to something you need to do and need to make timers for. You need to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
If you want to play something where you want an objective to kill something, play Foefire and kill the guild lord.
Right, so he's comparing Foefire back to Forest and saying that while Foefire has this like guild lord, so I haven't really, if you're new to the map, if you haven't heard anything about it, I'll briefly describe it. Now, it is a conquest map, and so it's going to have those 3 points. The secondary mechanic, though, is that there's lords in these keeps, and there's barricaded up, so you have to knock down the door. There are NPCs, archers, and mages that'll fling arcana at your face as you're going up to the lord and kind of assist with that. Also, if it's anything like, did Guild Wars
1 had very similar mechanics. That was most of the guild versus guild battles, or
so that's what it's called, Guild versus Guild.
Guild versus Guild.
So there is a version sort of that.
Yeah. So that existed previously. It was a good mechanic that I'm glad they're bringing back. Good mechanic. I mean, it was just something I remember from back in the day. It was fun when I played it. I like it, and it also offers the ability to change Forest, a previous map that's already in existence. So
yeah, and so that change essentially is going to make it so. I mean, this is just something we thought.
Yeah,
about.
this is us talking. By the way.
Oh my gosh, sorry. Okay, so the lights went off. If that happened in the outtakes of another video, our power can't take the lights, so sorry about that. Anyways, going back into
immensely bright.
Okay, so Foefire. Where are we talking about?
So again, it is taking a mechanic from a map that already exists and changing it slightly to add more strategy and less something that you have to do, which makes that map better, and putting the point system you get from it into another map, which makes that map more fun.
So Forest
or better secondary mechanic.
Oh yeah, we were saying this is our idea.
Yeah.
Sort of I think I might have also seen a sort of the same thought somewhere else. Anyways, Forest would be cool, in my opinion, if the boss mobs, to summarize, would not give any points. And so rather than spam killing these boss mobs, they would be a little bit harder, perhaps, and then they would give you a buff that's really strong. And so rather than it giving you points, you use it tactically to go, okay, let's kill them. Now we can face roll and do a bunch of stuff at the same time, maybe capture a bunch of points.
Yeah, they
do it well-timed, quickly, sort of organized, and choice-based. So it's not going to always be the good option. So it's all about choices.
Yes.
And that's what it comes
down to. It's like they just are taking 2 points. This leaves us open to do this right here, and we can easily get back.
One thing exciting thing about it is the fact that people are going to get used to that strat. They're going to be like, okay, let's get these first. There's going to be so many different strategies now to that. There's always, in any game you play, there's always a rebuttal to the best thing. Somebody will always find a new way to. So say that, okay, you just took Svanir and Chieftain, that's fine. This is what we're going to do. There's always going to be something new in that. I'm excited about that.
Exactly. We didn't just lose 80 points, and now we can take all these points and you have buffs.
Right.
We can hold you off, or hey, we have buffs and we can get these points.
And thank you, Foefire, for bringing something new, because now there's a different map where there's a new strat.
Yes,
it's still Conquest, so hopefully they'll bring a whole new system, so not just Conquest maps. Anyways, so that's one of the things that we're hoping to change with this discussion and with your guys' voice as well as ours. Last topic, and so don't flame me with this one. This is actually an interesting draft picks. So if you don't know what that is, Dota. So
sorry to bring up Dota more.
Bans. So how could we bring that into the game? Someone brought it up. Obviously, Dota is very is influential in the eSport community. So is LOL, Han, all
not
those
LOL. LOL. That's
not
just
LOL.
Awful.
Okay, sorry.
Well, I mean, it is, but
I tried it.
Sorry to Man,
How dare you.
Anyways,
it was easier.
Okay, so how could we do that ban system that's so popular? I mean, it's very cool. It throws the whole point is to throw the opponents off of their game and out of their comfort zone. So it's banning something. In Dota, it's banning a specific character
Champions.
that they can't use.
Yeah.
And so how could we implement that into possibly Guild Wars 2 esports?
A couple things that we could do. Let's say in the beginning of like a really heavy esports PvP match, however it goes, suddenly you're like, all right, you know what I don't want to fight ants? A guardian with a hammer. Suddenly, no guardians can use hammers.
Exactly.
And any utility skill, any elite skill, you get like, let's say 2 or 3 bands, weapons, utilities, and elites, and you can pick whatever you want from any class, and suddenly they can't use it. That would bring a lot of depth and like skill into...
It does. And for you FPS fans, Tribes is another example. And many of the maps, the smaller maps, the arena maps, they did not allow snipers, they don't allow the big juggernauts because of the fact that they're in a small area. And when you have people who are only good at snipers, it allows them to, branch out. Let's try out a different class.
Yeah.
Let's try something. And that's the thing. They're going to do the different thing. People are going to try different professions now or different combinations of their class.
Yeah, if you're not able to use your thing that you know works really well, you'll have to come up with something new and maybe better.
And so this kind of goes hand in hand with a different conquest, like not conquest, but some other map where group play is mainly like you're together and able to capitalize on the synergy and combos and whatnot, being together and working together. Conquest, it's designed to split you apart. So it's not, Guild Wars 2 has made this system where it's so fun to play together and to have that synergy and good team play, but yet again, you're split. So with a new game type where you're together, maybe like Storm the Keep, sort of like hold this King of the Hill sort of a point or something like that, then these bans will be more influential because, like, okay, let's say your strat is like Time Warp, Mesmer, place it down, now everyone has quickness for like 10 seconds. If you ban that's their, comfort zone, then it would really throw them off, and it'd be interesting to have a couple bans like that pre-game. Maybe in like advanced play, and I could see that being cool.
Yeah, I see no problems with that.
Exactly.
I know a lot of you are going to be like, that sounds stupid, and we don't like
exactly.
it. Well,
Another one of almost the first one I heard about was templates for builds. So imagine if you could only select 10 builds for your class, and you then... So that's restrictive. I get that, but it may be like 20 builds, and then like they ban a certain one, and then now you can't use it or something. That was like the first option. I think it's cooler to ban abilities.
Or a good option would be, hey, ArenaNet set you up with this original starting one, like with Ranger. It was a longbow and a greatsword. Start with that. That's something you can play with. Let's see your gamer skills. It shows you as a gamer how good are you. Yeah, exactly.
Right. True. That'd be kind of interesting.
Just different ways to expand, your gameplay, and that's exciting.
All right, so that's all we got for now. I hope this discussion has brought some light to some of these topics that are in flux, and I want your guys' voice to really have an impact.
Who wants this pineapple, by the way?
Someone requested this. Yeah. Whoever, if you're watching, say something in the comments.
He bought this pineapple. Do you know what time it is? Where's my phone?
It's like 10:45.
You went out and bought a pineapple.
I got work tomorrow, and I bought a pineapple. So anyways, I hope
Ridiculous.
you guys talk about this, and let's get a discussion going, and I'll see you guys next time.
By the way, I was playing Dota, and somebody called me out that I was not the real Rankshis. Dota 2. Sorry. I was playing Dota 2, and somebody called me out that I'm not the real Rankshis. Yes, I am.